Chairwoman Craddock, it's good to see you. And I wanted to just ask you a question about just some of the recent activities that have happened in Texas. And I think that it's perfectly reasonable that we would want to be able to produce any of our fossil fuels and natural resources that we have for energy here, so we don't have to depend upon the Middle East right now, particularly with all the craziness that's going on over there. I think it's perfectly reasonable that we want to be able to produce our minerals. I also think that it's perfectly reasonable, whether you're a fisherman or if you're a hunter or if you just like gardening in your backyard, that you want to be able to have clean air and clean water. And that is where your agency and city councils and what have you, they take those things into consideration when trying to pass ordinances. Now, in 2009, your hometown of Midland had some issues with spacing. The city council there, which is a community that is pretty much completely dependent upon oil and gas for the most part, they wanted to be able to create an environment where the city could thrive and prosper for economic development reasons, for the enjoyment of property, and they ultimately passed ordinances. Now, the city of Denton did that too, and the legislature acted. And Denton is a much more progressive or liberal city than Midland is. Do you think that these cities are being treated fairly in regards to being able to outline rules for themselves and how they want their city to be able to function? Because it just seems like there's some unfairness there. It seems like what Denton was trying to do was the same thing that Midland was trying to do. They were trying to come up with a policy that was good for their particular city.
Yeah, I think the difference between what Midland has done, which I think most people consider reasonable setbacks, that they worked with local operators and communities to try to figure out what worked for their community. The difference is that in Denton, they have banned the use of anybody in Denton being able to develop their own private property. Whereas with a local ordinance, you still can, with horizontal drilling, develop those properties because you can have a reasonable setback. And look, I think we all agree that being 500 feet or whatever a community considers appropriate for a setback to protect health and safety is not unreasonable. But banning hydraulic fracturing in a community, the private property rights of those individuals, you've basically banned drilling, which historically, as you know, has been the purview of the state to regulate it. And so that's the debate right now going on in the Texas legislature, and we'll see where they get.